That's completely right. The last time we did this, it was back in November, and it was election time, and so I thought I could sneak in and vote before we before we did this program, and I was wrong because the polls were really long, but we still pulled it off. One of the benefits of COVID time and adjusting to technology. Welcome this morning. Excited to spend a couple minutes with all of you, sharing my experience, sharing how to get more involved with the chamber, and hopefully put this membership to use, provide the value that you're all seeking with being members of the West Des Moines Chamber. Share some stories, make you laugh. And I encourage everybody, as soon as the world completely reopens, get out and start attending the events in person, meet each other, give some air high fives, knock some knuckles. But really the purpose of the chamber is to help everyone do more business together. And so through the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to hit on some highlights. My contact information, Bailey, Kara, someone will drop it in the comments. So if you guys want to connect after this, shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to grab coffee, do a Zoom digital meeting, however you're comfortable meeting. And I encourage all of you to do the same thing. The only way to get out of this membership what you want really is to show up and to meet people. And you're going to hear that as kind of a constant theme throughout the rest of this presentation, at least from me. So Bailey, if you want to go to the next slide. This is a quick just infographic that kind of shows some of the benefits, what customers think about chambers. This is still relatively newer data. I think it's back from 2019, so it is real up-to-date data. When customers know that a small business is a member of the chamber, the one that I like to highlight on here, they're 63% more likely to purchase goods from there. You know, when you signed up, when you became a member of the chamber, you likely got a sticker or something that you can put on your window to show that you are involved with the West Des Moines Chamber. Hang that thing up, because individuals, retail clients like to see that they're shopping at a place that supports local. For the Artaco guys on here, when consumers know that a restaurant's franchise or a restaurant is a member of the chamber, they're 50% more likely to eat at that restaurant as well. And 59% of consumers do believe that being active in the local chamber is an effective business strategy. Now, the key word in that sentence is active. It's more than just that sticker on the window. Even though I do encourage you to show that with pride, really being active means getting involved. If you can't attend events, send business representatives who can. Come out and meet people, come out, share business cards, share stories, have coffees, get to know one another. I love to share that when I first got involved with the chamber, it's really because I was in a sales role over at a company in West Des Moines called Cable Business Services. Found out we were members of the West Des Moines Chamber. My first real business development role, I had no idea what I was doing. My boss told me, hey, why don't you go ahead and attend a chamber event? Okay, my boss told me to do it, so I'm going to do it. I didn't even know what a chamber was at that point, didn't know why I should be attending the events. So I got on the website, found out that there was a ribbon cutting for a law firm over in West Des Moines that Thursday. Did some Googling, spent some time just researching how to network effectively, all those good things. Learned the basics that Google told me, as far as you should have your pitch down and ready. You should have 10 or 15 business cards on you so that you can pass them out if you're meeting people that you want to connect with, so forth and so on. You know, got myself all hyped up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to attend this event. I'm going to be the best networker West Des Moines has ever seen. I even went into the bathroom, and in front of the mirror, I did the old Jack Handy skit. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. Gosh darn it, people are going to like me. So I get in my car that afternoon, 3:30. I start driving to the ribbon cutting. I'm all hyped up, but every mile marker that goes by, every dash in the road, get a little less hyped up, a little more nervous about what I'm walking into. You know, I have no idea what a ribbon cutting is, what the event entails, how I should meet people, what I should be talking to them about. And I pull into the parking lot, almost shaking because I was so nervous to get out of that car. I couldn't even take my hands off the steering wheel because I was so uptight about what I was getting myself into. Started to make all kinds of excuses. Did my wife need help with supper? Did I really need to do this in order to be good at my job? At one point, guys, if you can see this recording, you can see the video, I looked in my rearview mirror and I asked myself if my hair looked okay. My hair has not changed since that ribbon cutting. It looked fine. I physically pulled in and out of that spot 4 different times trying to decide if I could do this or not. Thankfully, a West Des Moines Chamber ambassador saw me struggling and was kind enough to knock on my window and invite me in. But without that individual, I'm not sure that I would have gotten out of the car that afternoon. I'm not sure that I'd be talking to you here today. So first and foremost, congratulate yourself on taking the step to get out of the car to attend the event. I would encourage everybody, continue attending, continue to take advantage of what the Chamber has to offer. We're going to get through that in the next couple of slides. Bailey, if you want to go to the next one. This is one of my favorite slides in the presentation, really for that second question. So for those who can't see the slide, it reads, ask yourself a few questions. How have you been involved in the West Des Moines community? Second question, what is your risk of not investing? And final question, how can the Chamber be a resource to help you achieve your business success or personal goals? That second question, what is your risk of not investing? Something I want everybody to think about, because if you're not attending, if you're not at the events, more than likely one of your competitors are. Or there's other things going on. Maybe you're spending your money elsewhere and you're not getting the same kind of return on investment that you could with your Chamber membership. So really put that pen to paper, sit down, think about it. What is your risk of not investing? What is the risk of not attending? What is the risk of not putting in the time and the efforts to really make this Chamber membership what it could be for you? The next part of that question, how can the Chamber be a resource to help you achieve your business success or personal goals? All the Chamber employees, the Chamber leaders introduced themselves before this call started. Reach out to them, connect with them. I was able to get involved because I went to that first ribbon cutting. I met who was effectively leading the organization at that point in time, and I asked him to go grab a cup of coffee. We got together, he gave me time, he introduced me to the rest of the Chamber staff, and those Chamber staff members were the individuals who helped me get connected, helped me to connect with people, introduced me to people both that were able to do business with me and just good people that I should know. A lot of my ongoing relationships, even to this day, are because of the people I connected with early on in the West Des Moines Chamber. Individuals that I hang out with, individuals that I, do things personally with as well as professionally. Some of my best friends I met my first couple weeks in the West Des Moines Chamber. So don't forget that there's both personal and professional business that can happen by being involved with the West Des Moines Chamber. One of my favorite stats that I like to give, and it still holds true to this day, I keep track of where my business comes from. I keep track of the leads, and over a third of my business, even today, comes from relationships because of the West Des Moines Chamber and those early years of connecting, having cups of coffee with people and building relationships. Bailey, if you want to go to the next one. So a couple key points for the West Des Moines Chamber, just some things we like to go over. The mission of the organization is to champion all things West Des Moines by strengthening our area companies, providing personalized resources, and attracting a top workforce to position West Des Moines as the best suburban area or best suburban city in America. Vision, make West Des Moines the best suburban city in America to live, work, and play. And the values, I love this part, at the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce, we are trailblazers, inclusive, passionate connectors, collaborators, and avid promoters. And the goals, to help keep our area companies in business, our employees employed, and our region strong. And the West Des Moines Chamber, they really do this through the variety of programming that they have, things we're going to continue to talk about this morning, from the various young professional groups, the West Des Moines Leadership Academy, Elevate, as well as many other programs that really point and showcase West Des Moines as a leader in our area community. As Catherine said, there was a major announcement in the Business Record yesterday morning for those who were not on the call about a convention center and hotel complex that's just been recently announced coming to the area. Going to do great things for our community, for employee retention, for events, is probably, I don't know that I'm overstating it by saying it's going to be game changing for the area and for the region. The West Des Moines Chamber will continue to support things like that. Will be resources for organizations, both large and small. The only way to get connected, the only way to use that membership again, is to show up. Start investing your time, start investing your resources in this organization so that it can help you move your business forward. Bailey, if you want to go to the next one. So grow your business, really what we're all here for. First thing on there, again, you can see the very first ticker, show up. Attend the programs, meet business professionals. There is 4 to 5 networking or just connecting events every single month, even through COVID. The organization has done a great job of providing digital resources. I'm super excited for this spring/summer because I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to get back out in person again. You've all been warned, I'm a hugger, and I've had 9 months of not being able to hug people. So just walk away if you don't want to hug when you see me out in public again. Educational resources, the business toolkits, West Des Moines Edge, expert advice. Our community is full of experts in their fields, passionate business leaders who want to help the next generation succeed. You'll see on a future slide some of the speakers that we've brought in recently, but there are thought experts, leaders that are willing to give their time, their talents, and their energy to this organization. The Chamber does a great job of bringing those experts out so that people just new to their career, seasoned professionals, can have time to meet with them, can have time to hear their stories, can have time to connect with them. So watch those events, see what is interesting to you, what can help your business, and plan on attending. Business resources, increased visibility, business referrals and leads, jobs and internships, listings, community information. It's all available through the website. I believe there's a section they'll go over a little bit more in detail later on in this presentation. But if you have big announcements, if you have jobs, internships that you want posted, there's a free internship and job board. There's a free PR board through the West Des Moines Chamber. So get that information out there. Kara, someone will go over the amount of traffic the West Des Moines Chamber website gets, but it's pretty incredible. So use that as a resource as well. Advertising, there's email advertisements reaching, I believe this is even higher now than the 3,500 plus. There's website ads, social media advertisements, sponsorships, both with the West Des Moines Leadership Academy, events, and others. And I do want to hit, before we go to the next slide, a little bit about the West Des Moines Leadership Academy, just because it was personally a life-changing program for me. West Des Moines Leadership Academy is a great opportunity for leaders, both those who are new to leadership or seasoned professionals, to go through a 9-month program through the West Des Moines Chamber and bring those leadership skills to a new level. I went through it back in 2015, I believe is when I graduated, something like that. It might have been 2013. It's all blurring together now. But that program opened my eyes to opportunities as well as to resources and community connection that I never would have had I hadn't gone through and received the education there. Just some personal stories through going through that program. I ended up writing my book, The Ties That Bind, Networking with Style. I ended up getting a mentor group that pushed me to go back to school and get my MBA. I met community leaders that I'm still connected with to this day. It even pushed me to run for a political office, which is something I never thought that I would do. And I'm on city council now out in Dallas Center because of the connections and because of the stories and the people that I met through that program. So if you want a super fast and effective way to get connected into the community, as well as develop leadership skills, both for leading yourself, leading others, as well as leading in the community, highly encourage you to look up that program. It runs along the school schedule, so they'll start accepting applications later this year for the 2021-2022 Leadership Academy program. But it can be life-changing if you use it and you attend it the way that it's meant to be. Which leads to my final slide, the events calendar. As I just said, There are between 4 and 5 events typically every month, and the Chamber does a great job of providing those events at all different times so that people with all different schedules can hopefully get some sort of value or attend and get something out of the organization. There's breakfast before business if you're a morning person. There's rush hours and after hours if you want to party after work. There's luncheons with incredible keynote speakers. For those who can't see the slide, our November luncheon actually featured Gary Barta, the director of athletics for the University of Iowa. He spoke about leading in the pandemic. It was an incredible presentation. There are opportunities to connect, mostly again digitally right now, but this pandemic is going to come to an end. We've got a vaccine, and these things will open back up to in-person meetings, hopefully sooner rather than later. So get out there, connect with people, have a cup of coffee, increase the size of your network, and make sure that if you want to get involved, you're reaching out to individuals, you're reaching out to the Chamber members, as well as to the Chamber leadership, because they're more than happy to help you get involved and happy to be there, greet you. If you ever need someone to help get you out of the car, let us know, because we'll greet you there and walk you into your first event. Thank you guys for attending this morning. I hope you got something out of this presentation, and I hope that you're able to use the Chamber membership that you signed up for to its full potential. You start to get that ROI right away off the bat. And again, my email's in the chat box if you have any questions. If you just want to grab a cup of coffee in person or digitally, feel free, shoot a message. I'm more than happy to connect. Thanks, everybody.
Sorry, my screen looks different than normal, so I couldn't find the unmute button. Thank you so much, Danny, for spotlighting all of that and sharing about your experience with the Chamber. Just hitting on that advertising piece really quickly that Danny talked about. We have lots of opportunities for advertising. We do have 4,200 subscribers to our email list. So if anyone has any questions about advertising, please reach out to anyone on the Chamber team, me, Anna, Kara. Anyone can connect you with the right person. So let us know. Moving on though, next we're going to talk about workforce and talent development with Kara and Alec.
Hello, everyone. So we have quite a bit of things going on in the workforce realm. We want to make sure that as a chamber, we can provide value to all of our different size businesses. They are all in different industries. They are all at different places with where they're at right now. This year obviously accentualizes that or extends that. And so we wanted to make sure that we have initiatives that are in place so that we can help build our chamber member businesses up. So we've got a few that are listed here on the screen today. You'll see Your Turn is on there. This is one for college students. And you know, during the pandemic, a lot of businesses had to cut back on their internship programs. And so we wanted to make sure we know that there is fresh young talent out there, and we want to equip them with the tools that will help set them up for success. So we actually opened it up to all college students, not just interns in the West Des Moines area. And it's just over the summer, and we have about 6 events, and they vary between socials, so they can kind of get a head start on building that network that we talked about was so important. And then also we have different professional development topics. We bring in panels of experts to talk about how to nail the interview, things like that, that are maybe things that they're going through right now, things that they're going to have within the next year, 2 years, so that they can feel confident going into those situations where they're looking for their full-time jobs. Something new that we added with the Your Turn program this year as well was we added an event at the end that just gave them insights on mental health resources, financial planning, things that I think a lot of people probably wish was maybe, you know, a senior year class at whatever their secondary education was. So we wanted to help provide that and just provide even more value to these interns. So that is Your Turn. And then we have something called Trek Days. So a lot of people have heard of career fairs. And we wanted to take it a step further. We wanted to bring these students to West Des Moines. We want to show off what an amazing community we live in. So with career fairs, usually you go to the school and you meet the students there. Well, we bring in a students in any given major, and we do a lifestyle presentation with them at the very beginning of the day, because research shows that this generation, this incoming group of young talent, they choose lifestyle, they choose where they want to live, and then they begin looking for jobs. They don't just take any job wherever in the world it will take them. So we want to be sure to touch on that first, because there's a lot to show off in West Des Moines. So we do this lifestyle presentation, and then we also get them into local businesses so that they can meet HR directors, they can meet leadership there, they can meet and talk to young professionals and talk firsthand about what the culture is like, what the hiring process is like, and it literally gets their foot in the door. So then we cap off the day with networking with other businesses that are in their industry or major. And we call it a wrap. And we've had a few of those so far. That's a very new initiative, and they have been a lot of fun. It's just great to connect with that demographic as well. And then whether we meet these students at a truck day, a career fair, at events for our Your Turn program, we want to be sure to continue that communication with them. So we came up with the idea to have a student advisory council where we meet with them every other month just to keep up communication with these students. We want to continue to connect them with opportunities that could bring them here to our West Des Moines businesses who want individuals like them here. We give them insight on basically what we can provide, and then they help us by sharing what we can do to help set West Des Moines up to be a great place to live, work, and play for them. So it's a win-win. We're really excited for that, and we will be talking with them until they graduate. And then once they graduate, this is kind of a timeline you might pick up on, we have our young professional program. So as Alec mentioned in the beginning, we just rebranded it last month in January, the first of the year, and it is now West YP. So just to do a quick overview of that, we have monthly events where some are really fun socials, other ones we bring in leaders and experts like Danny mentioned to share what they wish they would have known when they were a young professional. So, we just had our first one last week actually, and it was all about networking, and there were so many good takeaways for that. Both Danny and Catherine actually shared. And then how to get your foot in the door for, getting on a board of director for a nonprofit, stress management, things like that, that are going to help take their career to the next level. That is the kind of content that we are providing. I'll let Alec talk about that here in a second, but I wanted to circle back to one other thing that Danny talked about, and that is our West Des Moines Leadership Academy. So this is a 9-month program, as Danny mentioned. It is throughout the school year per se, and the relationship building and the networking that comes out of it is just incredible. It is an amazing experience. It is personal development, it's professional development. We just had our last session, I believe it was last week, and we had a full day talking about topics like mental health, inclusion, DEI, important conversations and discussions are had where we challenge people to look at themselves, look at their businesses and what they can do to improve. And it really is just an amazing experience, and it's awesome to watch the transformation of everyone in the class. And then one other piece of that is a large part of what the Leadership Academy does, one of the pillars is to positively impact the community. So they work really hard together. It's a class of, about 35 or so, and they work hard to coordinate a class project, which is typically in the form of maybe a fundraising event or something like that, which of course this year they are heading in a direction that looks a little bit different. So they are being challenged to get really creative with that. And it's just really fun to see the relationships and the skills build just within that portion of the Leadership Academy. And then you get to, of course, learn the inside scoop on things that happen with the city and with the community in general. We just got to hear from Westcom, EMS, police department, fire. It's pretty cool what's going on behind the scenes that you don't even realize in our community. So a lot of good stuff going on there. A few final things to touch on. We do have a new leadership newsletter launching this month that is going to be jam-packed full of great content. We're really excited for this. It'll be on the third Friday of each month. So be on the lookout for that in your inboxes. And just to reiterate, there's so many free things to take advantage of. Job boards, internship boards, things like this. We can post on social media for you. So don't hesitate to reach out if you want to take advantage of any and all of these things, or if you have a new idea. We are very open to meeting the needs of, like I mentioned, the various different businesses that are in our community. That's what makes West Des Moines strong. So never hesitate to reach out with any kind of idea that you have as well. I just want to throw that out there. But I touched on West YP, but I do want to hand it over to Alec Wilcox. He is our fantastic chair for 2021, and he can tell you a little bit more about why we are so excited for this program and the restructure and the relaunch with it, and a little bit more about his experience.
Yeah, thank you, Kara. I appreciate that that introduction. So, yeah, as Kara mentioned, West YP is as the West Des Moines Chamber's rebranded YP program, with the goal that is very similar with the chamber and everything else they do. It is just to provide value to our members, and we do that in kind of two main ways. Kara alluded to the education piece, providing events that young professionals can attend that add value. Like Kara mentioned, we just had an event that was focused on networking. I don't care who you are, if you were in attendance to that event, you got something out of it. I know I had some great takeaways. And I feel like a lot of us have a similar networking story, and that the first networking event we went to, we were nervous, and being able to get tips from people like Catherine and Danny that have been networking for a long time and successful at it. Great value that I know a lot of people don't always have access to. And also, we put that into action, the networking piece, by providing social events. Obviously a little bit different this year, but we're moving toward a hybrid model, and then eventually back to completely in person, to provide our members with the same level of networking opportunities that they would have had previously. We've been open for membership for about 3 weeks now, and we already have about 50 members. So we're very, very excited about it. Have very lofty goals for 2021, and a great list of programming events for the year. So if you have YPs in your organization that you think might be interested, feel free to reach out to myself or Kara or anyone else at the chamber, and we'd be happy to get them connected with our group and allow them to take advantage of all the great things that we're doing at West YP.
Awesome. Thanks, Alec. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far, and we can't wait to see where all it goes and see those relationships and those connections build over the months ahead. A lot of good stuff to come. So with that, I will send it to Anna to talk to you a little bit more about some other opportunities to get involved throughout the chamber world.
Yes, thank you, Kara. And yeah, believe it or not, there are still ways for you to get involved with the chamber. So for those who are wanting to, kind of take their membership a step further and be involved with the committee, we have lots of different options for you. So, our committees are a way for our members to give back their time, their talents to, not just the West Des Moines Chamber, but, the entire West Des Moines community that is taking advantage of all of our resources and programming. So you or anyone from your team or organization can join these committees at any point throughout the year. All you really need to do is reach out to myself or one of our chamber team members, and we will make sure to get you connected with whether it's the chair of the committee or just get you in the right hands to start getting involved. So I'll just kind of briefly go over some of the committees that we do offer. First up, we have our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And we actually just started this committee back in June, and we are already planning our very first Black and Brown Business Summit, which is going to be a statewide hybrid event to help elevate and assist these Black and Brown businesses just with their overall success. So, ultimately, this committee is about being a part of the solution and how we can become more of an ally for our diverse businesses in West Des Moines. Next up is we have our YP committee. And I know Alec and Kara touched a little bit more on this programming and what all is included in that. But if you're interested, or if you have, anybody in your team or organization who is interested in maybe more of the behind the scenes portion of, our YP programming, please reach out to Kara and she can help get you involved with that. Next, we have our Explore West Des Moines committee. Now, this is also a brand new committee that we started just towards the end of 2020. And our goal with this committee is to, help create, attract, and bring in new and exciting events here in our own backyard in West Des Moines. So, obviously events look a little different right now, but our committee is, super motivated, and we are ready to hit the ground running when, events are back up and running in full force. So Bailey, next slide. All right. So last but certainly not least, we have our ambassador committee. And these are our chamber champions, and they do so much to really help support our membership and all of the programming that we do. So with us today to share us a little bit more about the Ambassadors Committee is our Ambassador Chair, Jason Finningen. So Jason, thank you for all that you do for ambassadors and for being with us today. So I will turn it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. I just want to say too, thanks to everyone for sharing kind of their pieces of what they do at the chamber. And I wrote down like 10 or 15 things that I need to do probably before the end of the day, just as a reminder from this event. So yeah, the first thing I would probably say about the ambassadors is we are truly the welcoming arm of the chamber. So although people are somewhat hesitant to get together right now, and that's completely understandable, man, personally, and I know that some of the other members of the ambassador team relish the opportunity to get together with people. That's really a part of what we do as ambassadors, is connect with people one-on-one, try and understand how we as ambassadors can assist them in connections or growing their business. But it's also a great way to just grow your platform as a business as well. Through a lot of the connections I've met with the ambassador committee, and simple things like I'm not a huge LinkedIn guy. However, when I have put posts on there recently, everything I've put on there has received over 1,000 views. And a lot of that is through connection that I have made with the chamber directly, let alone the footprint that the chamber has and the number of views that they would get. But anyway, so amongst the ambassadors, we have people working in the marketing field, landscaping, financial advisement. So kind of people all across the gamut there. They really kind of help to maintain the relationships as well with the members of the chamber. So as a member of the West Des Moines Chamber, you should be receiving a phone call, receiving a touch point from one of the ambassadors that wants to check in, see how things are going, see if there's anything else that they can do to help grow your business or help get you connected to a vital contact here in the community. And then some of the more stuff where you see us hands-on, face-to-face, is assisting with the ribboning. So we were just at Rusty Taco, I believe it was last month, doing their ribbon cutting. I got to meet Eric there, I got to meet Luke there. That was awesome. Groundbreaking. So the new West Des Moines facility for the Des Moines University campus had a groundbreaking, was able to go to that event. and yeah, just kind of monthly meetings that we have as ambassadors. One, further growing our network and depth with each other, but also continuing to grow and learn and how we can continue to help other West Des Moines West businesses.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jason. And like he said, they really are just, they're here to help welcome our members, help both current and new members. So if you're interested in, becoming a part of that committee, or if you know somebody within your organization that would be interested, I kind of am the one that works closest and most directly with that committee. So would love to help you get more involved with that. So with that, I think I will turn it back over to Bailey.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. Great information. Hopefully not too much an overload for everyone, but if you are overloaded, this will be recorded. We'll send the link later. So I just really want to quickly go over some of our virtual events, our events in general, because we are going back to in person, we promise, and then our member information center. So just a quick way to highlight some ways you can take advantage of our virtual events. We all know Zoom fatigue is a real thing, and we all know that we would much all rather be in person than virtual. But one of the things we pride ourselves on at the Chamber is providing great content. It's a great place to network and meet new people, but the content we provide is like second to none. Some of the speakers we brought in last month, we did Inspire 2021. That recording is on our YouTube channel if you didn't get a chance to attend. Super outstanding program. We have 42 sales tips in 42 minutes coming up here next week. Can't miss event for anyone in sales, anyone in anything really. I'm not a salesperson, but I'm so excited for it. So just a couple quick ways that you can really take advantage of our virtual events. Making sure that your full name is visible. You can edit your name by hovering over your face on Zoom and clicking the 3 little dots button and then renaming yourself. Make sure that's there and everyone can see your full name. Have your camera turned on. It's just nice to be able to see faces, even through a Zoom screen. Utilize the chat box to network during the event. That's one thing I always make sure when I'm on other events other than the Chamber events. I always make sure to privately message everyone I know on those events, catch up. Super great way to connect, catch up. And then take notes from speakers or panelists. Another great benefit of being virtual is you really easily can pop the Zoom on one screen or half your screen and pop a Word document or however else you use to take notes on the other half and jot down some notes so you don't lose them. And then send LinkedIn invites as follow-ups after the event. That's the benefit of making sure that your full name is visible. That way people can more easily connect with you on LinkedIn. So. And then moving on to just some of the Chamber's events to go over with you guys really quickly. So our monthly events include West Des Moines Edge. We have one of those coming up at the end of the month. The topic is real estate. So anyone interested in hearing all about the latest real estate developments, commercial and property, that's going to be a great event. We've got some of the biggest CEOs in West Des Moines joining us to speak at that. We've got the Business Toolkit series, which we had last month that was on workforce development and returning to workplace. That was a very informative event. Keep an eye on the calendar for those. Breakfast for Business, which is something we hit on a little bit earlier. That right now is our virtual networking component. Those take place in the morning. That way, those people who aren't comfortable being in person yet still have a platform to network with each other. Then we have our rush hours. Stay tuned. We're about to announce our February one. That is an all in-person networking event. We require masks and social distancing, but we will be having one of those this month at a hotel in Des Moines. So keep an eye out and get registered quick because there might be a cap limit on how many people can join us. Then we have our membership luncheons, which is something that happens every month. That's that Inspire 2021 and the 42 sales tips. In the past, last year we brought in JB Pollard, the athletic director for Iowa State, and then Gary Barta, the athletic director for Iowa. Super, super interesting. An important membership luncheon for all of you to keep in mind as new members is in December, we do our new member luncheon, which is the opportunity for each of you to get on the not virtual this year. I am fully confident that in December we will be in person. Get on the actual podium and share about your business and yourself with all of our other new members. And then a couple other of our signature chamber events. We started last year, the Best of the West Awards, which is an opportunity. We had 50 categories for the community to vote on the best of the West, just like it sounds. We do our annual dinner in the spring, which is our March replacement for our membership luncheons. This year's annual dinner is virtual. We have hybrid options available for sponsors. If anyone is interested in that, reach out to Anna. But that virtual component, we have Lynn Swan joining us as our keynote speaker. Super excited for any football fans. I know I'm a football fan. So really excited to hear all about his life and his career in the NFL and afterwards. We have Eat Week coming up. This date, June, is actually, we're switching that to October. We'll be reaching out to a restaurant member soon with our plans for that. So keep your eyes posted for that. We do our economic update in October. We bring in Bob Bauer with principal, and he talks about the outlook for the next year. Super interesting event in October. He went over all the different paths forward with the vaccine and political parties and stuff like that. Very informative. We have our first responders breakfast in September. Last year we had retired Navy SEAL Jason Redmond speak to us. That was a super inspiring event. Looking forward to that in September this year. And then we do our Citizen of the Year in June. We announce our Citizen of the Year, our emerging and our actual Citizen of the Year. If anyone has questions about that and how you could possibly nominate someone, please reach out. We'll be announcing that in June. So, and then of course we have all of our social medias. You can follow the West Des Moines Chamber. It's WDM Chamber on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So that is the slideshow. And then I would like to share with everyone. I want to go in depth in our MIC, our Member Information Center, which is really how you can take advantage of all of the benefits we've been talking about with you today. So if you haven't yet visited our website, this is our website. So you can see here that we've got a toolbar up top here where you can really tap into all of those different sectors that we've been talking about this morning. But what I want to talk first about with you is our Member Information Center. So you can access our Member Information Center one of two ways. Here from the home page, you can click Member Login. That will take you to this page right here, and you can log in. If you do not know your login, please reach out. We can help get that figured out for you or help you get an account set up. But the way that you will access that is, sorry guys, technical difficulties. So this is what the MIC looks like on the back end. So you can see right here that it has very straightforward interactive interface. So you can see our upcoming events right here and register now. You can also see on the left-hand side here that you can really easily access things like specials. Specials are those deals that your company might be having. You can insert those and those will be featured on our website. You can also do job postings from this page. You can see we've got Palmer Group who just submitted a job, the Iowa Clinic. So if you have a job or an internship available at your company, you'll want to get on here and submit it. That is free for you to use. We'll advertise that for you. And then we also do news releases. So you can submit any news release this way, anything about your company, press releases, all that good stuff. And then we also take these. We have a relatively new newsletter that we started last year. And those go out on Tuesdays to our 4,200 subscribers, where we just highlight everything West Des Moines. So you submit your newsletter here and we'll make sure you get in that newsletter for everyone to see. You can also use the Member Information Center to register for events, which you can do right here. You can also add events. So if your company is doing some kind of, let's say your Women Lead Change and you have a webinar coming up, we also freely advertise your events on our community calendar. Just add event, and it's as simple as that. Submit the information, and then you can also register for events. So when you look on here, you can see we've got a Chamber 101 today. Registration is closed. I wonder why. You can also register for that 42 sales tips in 42 minutes. and keep going down from there. All of our virtual events are free except for our annual dinner. That's something important to keep in mind. You can attend any of our events as a member for free, including our rush hour events. Those are also free, even though they're in person to our members. And then let's really quickly take a peek at our events calendar that we've been discussing. So you can get to that through the programs and chamber calendar button. So you can see here, we've got the chamber 101, 42 tips in 42 minutes, and Elevate. So this is another way that you can register for those events. You click on those, you'll log into the member information center, and you'll register for these events. Other things to take a look at on our website. You get to the community calendar, which includes all of the events that are submitted from all of our members here. You can also find member directory, business directory up here. And then it goes even further than that. If you're looking for a place to dine, to play, stay, relocate, all of that good stuff, you find that under the Explore West Des Moines Committee tab. And then you also can access those specials that I hit on right here. So that is what I have to share for the website. So this is the part of our program this morning where we take any questions from any of our members that you might have. I know this is a lot of information, so you but if you have anything for us right now that we could help to answer about anything we've discussed, we are here and we are happy to answer that. So if anyone has a question, you can feel free to unmute yourself since we have a small audience today. Feel free to just unmute and ask your question.
I don't have any questions, but I just wanted to say thank you for setting this up and telling us a little bit more about the chamber. I know I'm really excited to get out there and start doing some networking and everything. And I can't wait to get to know you guys better and get more involved.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Eric. We're so happy to have you in the chamber. Super happy. We all need to go out to Rusty Taco here and have a margarita.
You know, and it is so interesting, you know, we're talking about these virtual events, but honestly, the virtual events, there's so many positive sides to it too. When we do the breakout sessions in the Zoom rooms, you are forced to meet new people. And I think